Yes, good morning, dear students. Yesterday we have started a chapter, An Alien Hand. We will continue with the same one, An Alien Hand. See, in Alien Hand, up to that reading what we have done yesterday, we have come to know that there is one boy named Tillu. He was living with his parents, father and mother, and father, he was working with that spacecraft team, okay, and they were living under earth in another planet, okay. So what was going on? Their life was quite different there. They have to live in artificial conditions. So one day Tillu decided that he should follow the path, whatever the path was followed by his father. So he followed that path, but on the way, because of so much security, he was caught red-handed and he was to sent back by mechanical engineers. So when he was sent back, mother got really annoyed. She scolded him so badly, but on the other side, father made him understand that that boy Tillu, he was not allowed to go on that path because his life would be in risk. So he made him understand that why life is not existing, because he has never seen earth. He was not aware of this thing, that about sun and about stars. All the thing he has only listened and he has read in books. Okay, so father told him that that is his duty. He has got proper training for that. That's why he was able to survive on that planet. So this was the reason. But Tillu became so inquisitive to know more and more. And there was a wish in his mind, and he cleared his wish in front of, he revealed that wish that when he would grow up, he wanted to, yes, you can say when he would grow up, he would be joining that camp, joining that mission. So father was so happy that when his father would grow up, he wanted to join that mission. So up to that, we have come to know. Now, afterwards, what happened? Let's go through the text and find out. For that, I'm going to share screen with you. So up to that, we have read. Okay, now the condition of that earth, that planet was quite different. Why so? Big birds were not found there, animals were not found there, fish were not there, and life was quite different because of superior technology. Okay, so the job of father was only to look after those machines, because if machines would not work properly, there could be a problem. So his responsibility was to uh, take care of those machines. Okay. So now let's do comprehension part. How does Tillu manage to find his way to the forbidden passage? Sorry, these questions I think we have discussed yesterday. We have discussed these questions yesterday. Yes, we have read only this. The next day, Tillu father, he went to work and he found that control room was full of excitement. So many people gathered there. Okay. And there was one of the dot they have seen on machine. So what was that dot? This dot was of spacecraft. Now they all were so eager to know about spacecraft that actually what was going on. So we are going to start reading from there. A spacecraft. Where from? So let's read from there. Okay, Guneet, you start reading.
Yes, ma'am. A spacecraft where from the solar system was not known yet. Tilu's father recalled the ancient days
Guneet,
recorded in the
there is a
archives
network
at the
issue.
Central Bureau.
There is a
Yes,
network
ma'am.
issue. There is a network issue. Your voice is not clear. So instead of you, any other child can read, because your voice is not clear. Okay, Arshia, you read.
Yes, ma'am. A spacecraft where from the solar system wasn't known to any life anywhere else except on their planet. Tilu's father recalls the ancient days recorded in the archives at the Central Bureau when their ancestors had a well developed space program and had searched the solar system with manned and unmanned spacecraft and found that they were indeed alone. Now, in the days of energy shortage and underground life, they had no space program. They could only watch importantly from their vantage point. Who were these strangers?
Okay, read further also.
The conference room in the Central Bureau was so quiet that an outsider would have thought it was empty. Far from far from it, it was full to capacity, but the members of the Central Committee were unusually quiet. They knew that the president was going to make a momentous announcement.
Okay, now they have noticed one of her spacecraft and they were so surprised that basically from where that spacecraft have come. Okay, because solar system they have it was not known for any life because planets were only there. Okay, so Tillu's father he was recalling old days because old days were recorded in his archives in the Central Bureau because their ancestor means their forefathers they had developed a space program and they had searched the solar system, okay, with manned and unmanned. Manned means which are controlled by man, okay. So basically spacecraft is a vehicle, okay, that is used to travel in a space, and manned means that are controlled by man, and unmanned means that are controlled by machine only, okay. So archives is means where the records are kept. So in Central Bureau there were so many records where their ancestor had found space program, okay, and some of the solar system with manpower and with, you can say, machines, they found that they were basically alone. But nowadays when there was an energy shortage, when there was an underground life, they were not having any space program, they could only watch impotently means very much helplessly. So बच्चे write down difficult word meanings also. So impotently means helplessly. So they were, you can say, watching it helplessly for their vantage point. Okay. Vantage point means a place from where something can be seen. So write down the meaning of vantage point also. Vantage point means from where something can be seen. Okay. So basically they wanted to see that who were those strangers. Okay. So the conference room, which was in the Central Bureau, this was very quiet, very silent place from an outsider, because outsiders would thought that it is an empty space. Okay. But if you see it from far, it would be full of capacity. So many people would be there, members of the Central Committee, and they were so busy in their work that they were so quiet. Okay, because they knew this thing that president was now about to make an important announcement. So what is that announcement? Just listen carefully. Okay, bache, read further.
Colleagues, I will give you the report as I have it. While I speak, there may be a change in the situation. The president paused to get his papers in order and then continued. Two spacecraft are approaching us. One is in fact orbiting our planet, while the other is still far away. We guess that they are coming from our neighboring planet. How should we react? Number one, your views, please. Number one was in charge of defense. He was known for his courage and wisdom. Sir, if we wish, we can totally destroy these spacecraft with our missiles. But that won't make us any wiser. We do not have the capacity to render these craft unoperational in space. But should they land, we can render them ineffective anytime we choose. Our reports say that they do not contain living beings, they only have instruments.
Okay. Now colleagues. Colleagues means the persons who work with us. Okay. Now here it is written that there is one of our report. Okay. And now we have to change the situation. So this was the dialogue spoken by president, and he was reading his paper and he paused, he stopped for a moment, and he said that there is really a risk that two spacecrafts are coming to us. Okay, and one spacecraft is found in the orbiting in our planet, and other spacecraft is still very far away. Okay, so they were making guess that these spacecrafts were coming from a neighboring planet. Okay, now what should we do? So they asked about the opinion. So when they asked about the opinion from their mission, from their committee, one of the person, number one, he was in charge of defense. Okay, and that person was known for his courage and wisdom. Okay, so he said that if this spacecraft is coming to our planet, I think by using our missile, we should destroy that spacecraft. Okay, but won't make us any wiser. लेकिन ऐसा करके क्या हो जाएगा? We will not consider ourselves that we have done any wise work. Okay, because we don't have, you can say, capacity to render all these. It means we don't have capacity that we can face all these things, operational works. But if they land, we can render them ineffective anytime we choose. But if these spacecraft are able to land, so after that we can, you can say, hit them. But the thing is that these spacecraft, they do not have any living beings. So these spacecrafts are only instruments. So after that, number two opinion was asked by president. Okay, so what was the opinion of number two? What did he say? Read, bache.
Number two, your opinion, please. The president asked the scientist on the committee. I recommend non interference and passive observation since we do not know the power of the senders of these spacecraft. And and we are still in the dark about their intentions, it is wise not to reveal our existence. If we destroy these spaceships or render them ineffective, we might reveal our existence.
Okay. Now, when opinion was asked from number two, what was the result? So number two said, okay, that I would recommend that non-interference. It means we should not interfere in those spaceships, whatever the spacecrafts are coming down. We should be only passive observation. It means we should not do anything. We should only see. Okay, because we do not know about the power of those spacecraft. Okay, we don't know with what kind of intention they are coming down. So it is very much wise, it is very much intelligent that we should not reveal our existence, because if we will destroy these spaceships, or if we think that these are not ineffective, so it means we will reveal our existence. We will show that yes, we all are here, because otherwise nobody knows that we all are here. Okay, now after that, number three was given a chance to give his views. So what was the view of number three? Yes, read.
The pres The president looked at number three, a social scientist. He rarely agreed with number two. but this was one of those rare occasions when he did. I agree with number two, sir. In fact, I will go so far as to say that we should keep our surface activities to the minimum, thus creating the impression that there's no life on this planet. Fortunately, our surface conditions do give that impression.
Okay. So now the president was looking at number three, and this number three was basically a social scientist. Okay. And he was not agreed with number two, but this was one of those rare occasions when he did. So now president has taken that decision that he was agree with number two, because they should only look at the activities. Okay. So in this way, they would create the impression that there is no life on this planet. The people are not living there. Okay. And our surface conditions do give that impression. But before this, the president could speak his personal telephone rang. Okay, he lifted the receiver and he listened for a moment. That colleague, he announced the first spacecraft has landed. So by the time they could take this decision that yes, they should only minutely observe it. Now the phone rang, and what was the announcement? That the first spacecraft has landed. It means first spacecraft has landed on that planet. Okay. Now, Bache, I'm giving you time. All of you start finding these three questions. Hurry up. Find out these three questions. Find out the answers and raise your hands. For that, I'm giving you time. Only 3 students have raised their hands. I don't want to listen such kind of response. I want maximum participation. So get ready with this. I'm giving you a chance to frame your answer. Hurry up. So, okay, now I've given you sufficient time. So, I'm going to ask any of the child to give me this answer. Okay, first answer. Why was everyone in the control room greatly excited? Okay. Sarvyapak, you tell me this answer. Sarvyapak. Why was everyone in the control room greatly excited? Same answer, Jasleen, you tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Everyone in the control room was greatly excited because supposedly they thought that a spacecraft from another planet was reaching their planet.
Good. Yes, very good. Because they have seen two dots, and these two dots were, you can say, giving a signal that two spacecraft were approaching the planet. Okay. Now, second answer I expect from Rudar. Was the spacecraft manned or unmanned? How do you know? Manned means it was driven by persons, or unmanned means it was driven by machines. So Rudra, you tell me. Rudra, sorry. Rudra, you tell me this answer. Unmute yourself and tell me this answer. Rudra. No answer. Khushi Tandon, you tell me this answer.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. The spacecraft that landed on the surface was unmanned. It contained only instruments. A mechanical hand tried to collect samples of soil.
Okay, good. So the spacecraft was unmanned, okay, because it was not having any living being in that. So from this, it is crystal clear that it was unmanned. What did number 1 and number 2 suggest should be done after the alien spacecraft? So who will be telling me the answer of third question? Okay, Arshia, Shriya, Guneet, Divya, Khushi and Jalash. Only these 6 students are raising their hands. What about others? Others are not sitting in my class. Why are they not responding? Shall I mark them absent today? If you are not responding in class, tell me. This chapter is so easy, so interesting, but still students are not raising their hands. Yes, Harman, what do you think? You tell me about this answer.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, am I clear?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Everyone in the control room was greatly excited because they had seen 2 spacecrafts coming from towards their planet. The spacecraft had landed on the surface, was unmanned. It contained only instrument, a mechanical hand, and tried to collect samples of soil. The number 1 was in charge of defense. He suggested that they should wait till the craft landed on the surface, and then they could easily make it ineffective. Number 2 also suggested that they should wait and watch.
Good.
It would be not intelligent to reveal their existence by attacking the spacecraft.
Good. Very good. Now let's do next part of the chapter. Now what happened afterwards? Tillu goes along with his father to the control room. Okay. And he was so excited that he presses all important red button. And what happened? What was the result after that? That the mechanical hand from the alien spacecraft, it stopped working, and now mechanical hand is activated, but no sign of life was found on the planet. Okay, so it was a red letter day in Tillu's life. So start reading from there. It was a red letter day. Red letter day, you can say very important day. What is the meaning of red letter day? Very much important day. So who is going to read? Okay, Jalashvir, you read.
Yes, ma'am. It was a red letter day in Tillu's life. The day he was waiting for his father had at last taken him to the control room. From here, he could see the alien spacecraft on his TV screen. What a funny looking thing, Daddy. What does it contain? Tillu asked. His father shook his head. Can't say for sure. We are only allowed to observe it from far. But we control all these parts and can exercise our powers if it is up to any mischief. He pointed to an impressive panel with several colored buttons on it. Tillu looked at them wistfully.
Okay, now up to that, what happened? It was basically a red letter day. Red letter day, it means very, very important day in the life of Tillu, because he was waiting eagerly for that day, that when he would be accompany his father to control room. Okay, finally, day has come when he made a way with his father to control room, and from that control room he was able to see alien spacecraft. Alien means the name is not known. These are foreign spacecraft. From where they have known, from where they have come, it was not known, so that's why alien name is given unknown. From foreign countries, from any foreign place, these spacecraft have come. So these spacecrafts were seen on TV. Okay, and he said, Daddy, it is really a funny looking thing. What does it contain? So his father moved his hand and he said, I am not sure, because we are only given duty to look at only from far, and but we control all its parts and can exercise our power if it is up to any mischief. So he said that according to his duty, what is a part of his duty, he has to only look at, okay, and if they are going to do any mischief means if they are going to do any bad thing, only then we are allowed to use our power. Okay, so he pointed to an impressive panel. So on that panel, there were so many colored buttons. Okay. So Tillu was looking at all those wistfully. Wistfully means you can say very much sad face. So Tillu was looking very sadly, very wistfully, sadly on all these. Look, it is up to something, daddy. So Shreya, you read from there. Look, it is up to something.
Look, it's up to something, Daddy. Tillo suddenly noted some movement in the spacecraft. Others in the control room saw it too. All eyes were now glued to the screen. A mechanical hand was
Mechanical.
mechanic. A mechanical hand was emerging from
Emerging.
the spacecraft.
Okay.
Emerging from the spacecraft.
It was approaching.
It was approaching the surface of the planet. It bent and touched the soil. What was it up to? People crowded towards the screen for a closer look. The telescope lens of the TV camera zoomed into the tip of the mechanical hand.
Now see,
Till the
that, what we have come to know, that now they were looking all the things on screen. Okay, they were able to see the movement of the spacecraft on the screen. Okay, and other person also in the control room, they were also looking at that spacecraft, and all were, you can say, glued to the screen. Glued means they were fixed to the screen. It means they were continuously, all eyes were glued means they were continuously looking at the screen, because they were watching at those spacecraft so minutely. Okay, and they were so surprised that one of a mechanical hand, it came from a spacecraft and it was coming near and near to the surface of the planet. Okay, and what happened after that, it bent, that the hand which came out from that spacecraft, this hand bent and this hand touched the soil. So people were so surprised actually what was going on from spacecraft. So people were gathered there towards the screen because they want to see so closely. So basically it was telescopic lens of the TV camera. Okay, basically it was TV camera's telescopic lens. Okay, and basically telescopic lens of the TV camera, it was zoomed in to the tip of mechanical hand. Okay, because they want to see it so minutely, so carefully. Okay, Drishti, now read further 2 paragraphs.
Yes, ma'am. Tilu was staring at the control panel and its attractive buttons. An irresistible desire got hold of him to press the most prominent of all buttons, the red one. He moved. There was a shrill whistle, and Tilu found himself the center of attention. His father pulled him away roughly and restored the red button, the neutral position, but the damage was done. The mechanical
Now
hand from
Tillu was looking at that control panel and he was so surprised to see its attractive button and irresistible. Irresistible means irresistible means that cannot be controlled. So he was not able to control on his desire. And what were the most prominent button? Most prominent means very important button. He pressed all those buttons and red one also, and after that he moved. And when he pressed all those buttons, there was a shrill whistle. Shrill means very much sharp. So when he pressed that button, there was a shrill whistle. There was shrill means there was a very sharp whistle, and Tillu found himself that everybody was looking at him, and his father pulled him away roughly and he restored the red button. It means he pressed the red button again to its neutral position on the same position, but basically the damage was done because Tillu, without thinking, he has pressed the red button, and because of that one of the damage was done. Okay, because Tillu was not known to this thing why this red button is for. Without thinking, he has pressed the red button. Okay, and now the spacecraft mechanical hand ceased to work. अब जो spacecraft में से mechanical hand जो था that really emerged out, that really came out, it ceased to work. It ceased means it stopped to work. Okay. Now very good lines are given at a press conference held by NASA. Now from NASA, one press conference was there and scientist was briefing the world press. What was the news by NASA? Everything has been going on smoothly with the Viking mission. Actually, basically, this spacecraft was a member of a Viking mission. It was going so smoothly, but there was only small hitch. Hitch means there was only one difficulty. What was the difficulty? That the mechanical hand which was going to dig out Martian soil, because there was one hand which was going to take Martian soil for examination. Now it has malfunction. Malfunction means it has a defect, and they were not known to this thing. What was the reason behind that? Because their technicians are confident and definitely they will sort out the matter. Okay, so this was basically happened that by pressing only one button that stopped working, and after shortly there was another press release from NASA. What was written in that? The mechanical hand is working again thanks to the efforts of our technician. Soil samples are being collected and examined. Soon we will know the answer to the question whether there is life on Mars. Okay, so what is given there? Now when they have pressed that button again, it means now that mechanical hand has started working. Okay, now they were saying that our technicians, we are very much thankful to that. Now we have come to know, because we just want to know that there is life on Mars or not. Life on Mars, of all the planets in our solar system, Mars is nearest in location and physical condition to our Earth. So the scientists behind the Viking mission were hopeful to finding life on Mars, but they were in for a disappointment. The Viking mission found no signs of life on Mars. It means all the things were looked so silently. So scientists were not able to find out that on Mars life was there or not, because in secret they all were doing all the things, because they were thinking that Mars is very much close to Earth. So there is a life on Mars or not. So that's why they have made a Viking mission, and they were very much hopeful to find out that life is there or not. Okay, but Viking mission, it was not able to find out any sign of life on Mars. So bache, I'm giving you these 4 questions to be done as a homework. So we will be discussing all these 4 questions tomorrow. Okay beta, thank you and have a nice day.